Hi guys, it's Amy, and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I do really appreciate when you want to click on my video, see what's going on with me. Well, it is a rainy, gloomy day outside, so it feels a little bit odd that I'm wearing a little summery top like this, but you guys get to see what I've been working on, so here it is. So what I used for this pattern is Caron cotton painterly cakes. And this one is in the great color called Shimmering Pond. And it's got these great yellows and blues and greens. It's really a soft yarn. It is made up of 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. These cakes are 481 yards, so there's quite a bit in there. It does recommend a 5mm hook, but for this pattern I used a 4.5mm hook. No, a 4mm hook. Don't you hate when the different companies change the colors of your hooks? My other hooks are green, purple for the G hook, and this one came out in a blue color, so that one always throws me off. There's a picture on the yarn band here, but when you flip over the yarn band and start reading it, it's a single crochet, chain one, skip one, single crochet, and I wasn't about to get into that, so I looked up a different pattern instead. This one happens to be Mikey with a Crochet Crowd doing it. It's called the Crochet Summer Top, as simple as that, but he did it with Lily's Sugar and Cream yarn, and I don't have that, and I wanted to use this instead. It does feel a little bit heavier because of the acrylic. It does feel a little bit more blanket-like than I would have thought that it would, but I haven't used the yarn before, so I really wanted to dig in there. I do love it. I will wear it. That's not even to say that I have any issues with it, but I really had some issues with matching the color stripes up. So in his tutorial, he uses a solid color yarn, so you go right through it, just wham bam, thank you ma'am, and you know, there's no questions. But I started, it starts at the base, and I started already noticing, you know, I worked up one, and then I started to work up the back half to make sure I was going to be in alignment, and the colors weren't matching up, so I had to pull some out and kind of start over again and get to where I felt like the colors were going to match up. And they don't all the way, because one of the cakes has a longer spread of color than the other cake. So I'll show you that in just a minute. But I thought this was a really great pattern. It worked up pretty quickly, other than my, you know, psychotic color matching issues, my color controlling. So if you were going to use a color, a solid color, I would definitely try this shirt again in that. So what I've got here is 178 grams left, and each cake is 227. So you are going to need one and a little bit of another one. So without further ado, here we go. I love, love, love. Now, you do see that the colors didn't quite match up here. There's a different color here first, and then it gets into this darker blue, and then it goes into this. There's a little bit of color bleed here, and a little bit of color not matching up, you know, again here, but I think that's where I cut it off and decided that I was going to make the yellow match. But then you have to get up into the sleeve here, and you're doing single crochets to create a little bit of sleeve edging here, and so I had to go ahead again and deal with breaking off the yarn so that the colorway would match. So that's, you know, hindsight. When I think about a striped shirt, I have to definitely think about my color striping yarn and how much, you know, crazy it's going to make me. So I think it's a little bit gappy here. I'm not 100% comfortable with how much spacing is here, and I didn't want to continue to color control and make the sleeves bigger. So I could just wear it in a different time of year with like a long sleeve underneath it, or maybe even a short sleeve. I don't know. I'm kind of new to the making of wearables, but I really liked the neckline is super nice and wide here. So that was really, really comfortable. And yeah, I mean, it's a very, very soft yarn. I like it very much. I've got 2 whole skeins left, plus, you know, the 178 grams of this one, which I don't know that that I would make another shirt, because again, I have to color control it too much, and that causes me anxiety. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. When I initially saw this one, I thought it was sort of boxy and plain, but I was going to go ahead and give it a try. I'm so pleased that I found this pattern. I thought it was very, very pretty. Can I get a little bit closer here? See, it's kind of like these shells, and then the neckline is scalloped. So I thought that was really, really pretty. So go ahead. I'll link all of these patterns down in the description below. So the next thing that I wanted to share with you that I was working on was from this cotton band here, Bernat Softy Cotton. There's a pattern for this blouse on the back of the band, and I wanted to work that up in this. This is all Bernat Softy Cotton. So I've got these browns here, and this is a really great colorway here. I'll just show you that one. It is called Golden Haze. So the colors are kind of muted. They're not as bold and popping as what colors I normally use, which again, this is one of my likes about this yarn, was that it's a beautiful color, but it's sort of a muted color. And so as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of that. So I thought I'd go ahead and try to do this tank top, but it's a V-stitch. So the holes in it were just too great for me. I didn't want to have to wear something underneath it. So out of a skein, this little bit is what I've got left, and I didn't weigh it, but again, these are little one skein wonders. These guys are 4.2 ounces, 120 grams, 254 yards. So a good little size there. And so this was the sweater width-wise, this plus the backside. And I thought, I don't know how I made it so wide for myself, but you can see that clearly I'm less than a whole nother panel of this. So it was coming out way, way, way too wide. So I decided to just fold it over and make it into a little market bag. And so what I did was I already had a full single crochet row around the bottom and the top. So I just put them together and then whip stitch sewed with a needle inside, on the inside, and squished it together. So kind of did my own thing with that, and then just kind of created, what did I do, 2, 4, 6 stitches across for the little take that to market. Buy your little pastries is what I'd buy from the farmer's market. I need a bigger bag than this though, right? So I like the way that this turned out, you know, little happy little accidents. I didn't set out to make one, but once I had this long wide panel that wasn't going to fit me, I thought, what am I going to do? So turned my lemons into lemonade. Yay! So that was a great use of $2.97 yarn, right? Okay. And then the last thing I've got to share with you, and this might be considered like some sort of blasphemy. The pattern is from Michaels, but the yarn is from Hobby Lobby. So this was a great little pickup. If you've never been inside of a Michaels before, they've got tons of these, just like they do at Hobby Lobby. And I don't know if I've noticed them at Joann's, but they're little free patterns. And so this was a great little one that I had in a stack here for a long time. There's a date at the bottom. It says from July 2021 to July of 2022. So I guess they set out, you know, patterns for different seasons or whatever. Anyway, so again, then they show the pattern in Lily Sugar and Cream, but I don't have any of that. Lord knows I've got some of this, and so I thought this was a good opportunity to bring this yarn out, since Hobby Lobby just had another clearance that people picked up some goodies from. This is a 3-weight yarn. Sugar and Cream. They didn't list it here if it is, I don't know off the top of my head if it's a 3 or a 4, but so one of the things that I didn't notice until later is that the pattern calls for a G hook and a 4.5 millimeter. My G hooks are 4 millimeters. So I didn't quite think about that. And then this yarn that I was using is a 4.5 millimeter suggestion. So that's what I used. So if they truly intended this to be made with only a 4 millimeter hook, then this is a little bit big for that. So what I used was 77 grams of this skein. It was already used a little bit. This colorway is called Cascade, and Yeah, so here is my gorgeous blue market bag. I mean, yeah, the tan might be more cream color. What is it called? Jute. Might be more, you know, middle of the road, but I love this blue. It's a little bit like turquoise, only a little bit different. And it's got a great bottom of, you start down here with the single crochets, and you do it kind of like a shoe, a baby shoe, I guess. You come out and then go along the back side of the stitch that you just went through. So your chain has two sides of work, and that's how you start to work in the round and work your way up. And then you just do another couple rounds of single crochet up at the top, and then you get your, this is where the handle starts, and then you work it around, slip stitch it to the bag, and then go around with a single crochet row. So it says on here that it should take you, where did I see it? 8 hours? 8 hours. Easy level, 8 hours. So I started this yesterday morning, on and off throughout the day. You know, I didn't sit down for 8 hours straight, but it is a very, very quick project. And, you know, if you wanted to do something special, I do have the Sugarwheel Cotton in a sparkly, I think it's Jenny's Galoshes. Let me look. I showed you this before. See how sparkly and pretty? I don't know if a market bag needs to be sparkly and pretty like that, but it could be a different type of use for the bag. Yeah, Jenny's Galoshes. So this was my first, one of my first Hobby Lobby scores a couple years ago, and it's just kind of sitting in there. I do reach out and use it once in a while, but not a great deal. So yeah, so there you go. I just finished this morning before I decided to go ahead and throw the video together. Now, you may have seen my recent video where we were going to go off and do a little vacation this weekend, but where we were going to stay was right on the Mississippi River, and there's quite a bit of rain that was expected, and they started to announce some flash flooding, so we didn't go away like we wanted to this weekend. We didn't want to take the chances. So we'll do a little day trip here today or tomorrow or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Enjoy the weekend anyway. So I guess that's all I got for you right now. I hope you enjoyed your time with me today and maybe picked up an idea of one of the projects that I'm sharing with you now. Maybe you've got a similar yarn, and that's what it's all about, is trying to either find an answer for the yarn that you have, or find a yarn, you know, find a yarn that can be similar to this and do something kind of like it. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for your time. I do really appreciate you. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.